Well, Venture Trust is a 3-week course in Scotland, and it's just really good fun.
It's just action-packed. You're doing all sorts of things, all through the day.
You do abseiling, you do canoeing, you do camping, but more importantly, you meet a bunch of people like yourself.
Applecross is on the west coast, right near a beach. Big mountain right behind where you stay.
I suppose some of the views have just been absolutely amazing, totally amazing, because you can just see for miles.
You don't have to go home at the end of the night and think about your home life again.
It gives you other options, it gives you other ideas. You meet people, you know what I mean, and they tell you about their experiences.
It's quite a good mix really, because it's all just different sorts from different areas all over the country.
No one knew anyone else, which is better for me because it means we're all in the same boat, we're all on the same level.
I know everyone and everyone knows me. It's quite clever how they get you to meet up.
There's team building exercises and generally getting to know people better. On those sort of things, you go out there and it's like working as a team, working as a group member, an individual within the team, getting to know everyone. And as you're doing them each day when you do them or each time you do them, you get to know everyone better.
We all went down to the beach one day and we had these long pieces of wood and we had to hold them between two, like a long line of us, and people run across each of them. When the last person had got to the end, the people at the front had to run round and carry on, so we went right down to actually the shoreline, just playing games like that.
Forward.
And dragon chasing games where you have to sort of take into consideration what the other person's doing in front of you and watch what the other team are doing. It was really good fun actually.
I think we could have done quite well there. We just totally missed it. The tail went lashing round.
When I came up, I thought it was going to be a bit like being back at school, but when I got up here, I found out that it was more that they guide you rather than tell you what to do.
You shout slack. We're not here to say do this, do that, do the other. Just very much here to fall back on, if you like, when things don't work out.
You all right? Yeah. All the staff are all right there. All just funny and then serious about their job.
Peter, what do you suggest?
You just said
standing there smirking.
No matter what somebody has come with and whatever baggage, whatever hassles they've had in their life, it doesn't matter here. They come here as an individual and everybody's treated the same, and so whatever you may think it's been bad or crazy or wrong in your life, it doesn't matter up here because everybody's the same.
They're always there to speak to you, and they're always out for a laugh, just like us, you know, which is really good.
We're not formal, we're pretty easy to chat to, I think. We're pretty mellow and we'll listen to what you've got to say. From the living point of view, the Venture Trust, it's good. I mean, the food's great.
You get quite a lot actually. I didn't think you would, but you get loads.
It's really good. And the cook's just excellent.
As far as accommodation goes, the rooms are well maintained.
It's warm, it's very clean, and you get your own locker with your own key to put all your valuables in. And it's quite nice accommodation really.
There's only a few rules really. It's no sex, no drugs, no drinking, no violent behaviour.
People can do sort of not what they want, but they can do what they want within reason, you know.
It's just chores every morning and evening, but it's just something you've got to get on with.
It's enjoyable. Just get it done and we can just sit back and enjoy it.
You can come up here and try all sorts of activities, but if you live in the city, it's very hard to get access to.
Oh, it's coming right down my neck.
So you can come up here, try rock climbing, canoeing, abseiling, walking, staying out in the middle of nowhere, eating sea urchins. Right, you can eat sea urchins, they're fun, right? Better than McDonald's. So, you know, that's a good blast.
You ready, monkey man? Go for it, son.
Usually when I do rock climbing, or I've done it once or twice before, I get halfway up and look down and I just freeze, so I'm scared of heights.
That's no jump, go on, lad.
People in the group, they sort of helped me go up. They helped me get to the top, and that was a major sense of achievement for me.
Go on, Ricky, just touch the metal now.
If you don't want to do a certain thing, like say abseiling, you don't have to do it. If you're scared, you don't have to do it. But if you do it, it's it's really great.
Once they're over the edge, they just bomb down like it's great. Probably buzzing down there now. Okie doke.
I didn't bring any outdoor gear. All your outdoor gear was provided by Applecross.
You get fleeces, you get warm trousers, you get total waterproofs, you get your rucksack, all the kind of specialist kit you'll get. Everything, basically, what you need for all the activities is provided by us.
The gorge walking was the best fun. Walking up a cold river, jumping into the ponds.
And we've done plenty of rock climbing. We kept warm by keeping active on the way. Great, yeah, great fun. Jumping off a couple of boulders into the pools.
You don't have to be fit really, because I'm not that fit really, but I enjoy it. People stick by you, and they walk at your pace.
You go off on expeditions where you actually leave the centre, spend 4 days out in the hills and go to the Isle of Skye, which is an island. You take tents out and stay on there for 4 days, getting your water from the stream. Just generally looking after yourself.
You might get wet a few times, and cooking your own dinner usually gets pretty exciting.
The last 2 nights or the last night, go out and make a bivvy, which is just finding any old rubbish from washed up in the sea or something and prop it up, make it all so there's no holes, and you spend the night in there on your own.
You just have so much fun. I mean, you don't miss home really. You do so many activities, it's quite untrue.
Maybe it's a bit hard at first and that, but just get used to it and it's brilliant. Love it.
Get away from it all and just relax, because you can just be yourself and that around everybody here. You know, there's no... everyone's straight up.
So apart from the activities, it's been fun. Coming up here has been a big help to me because I've got something to go back with inside.
It's only you knows what you need to work on inside, and this is an opportunity to come up here and do that, rather than constantly asking yourself questions. And you can meet other people from all over the country who might be really good friends, try new things, and if you want to really do something about your own self-confidence, you can come up here and improve that.
There are a whole lot of personal development courses run by a whole lot of organisations, and they offer a lot of things which you can build on locally. But the Venture Trust is something else again. It offers an experience that is, I think, completely unique. It also is something which I think makes young offenders in particular stop in their tracks.
And it does motivate you, definitely. And just doing all these things and meeting loads of different people and getting to realise that there is life outside of your house or your area.
Being involved.
And there are different people other than violent people and people who'll abuse you and people who'll rip you off.
The Venture Trust was set up to provide opportunities for young people at risk. 50% of our client group are on probation and 50% come from a variety of other referral agencies. Everybody comes here because they want to come here. Nobody's obliged to be here.
I'm just surprised how well everyone's got on. Because it's really unusual. Even in a group of like
It's pretty difficult to turn someone's life around if they don't want to do it themselves. And I think one of the things we pay probation officers for is recognising when you can really do something that's going to make a difference. And the Venture Trust is there, I think, to make that difference.
It's a place where people can maybe get time out and think about what it is that they're doing, maybe begin to think about where they'd like to be and come up with ways and ideas of how they'd like to get there.
They may not yet have grasped exactly what it is that they want to change. They may not necessarily have grasped exactly where they want to go. I see that as being the person who's most likely to gain from it. Someone who's ready to start taking control of what they do, but doesn't necessarily understand exactly where they want to go.
You want to stand up?
We see the Venture Trust as forming part of a process in a probation officer's supervision plan for a young person.
It's not going to change this client, into a totally different person, but it's going to build their confidence. It's going to help give them a boost. And that, if you get this initial spark, that's when you can start doing the groundwork. Right, have you thought about employment? But somebody that's not got that spark, how can you say, well, have you thought about going to the job centre and getting a job?
It makes our work so much easier, actually, when they come back and being able to do things like, referring them to the Making It Work group, the employment training things. They come back with so much confidence that they can actually go into that and achieve that.
What we attempt to do is encourage people to look at working positively with other people, to address issues about working with others. For example, attitudes to authority. Self-esteem is something which is very common as an area which both referral agents and young people identify as something they want to look at. Managing conflict situations and generally sustaining positive relationships.
So do you think it's better for them to hold that back for the 3 weeks, or should they establish that they have a problem straight away?
No, they should sort it out.
Yeah.
Talk about it and sort it out. Even if people just know that it can work, then that's a worthwhile thing. To know that you haven't got to sort someone out with violence, and you haven't got to shout and scream at someone, and you can actually talk to them. I think that does work, yeah.
You can jump in from there as long as you make sure you jump out far enough and you go between.
Most of our staff have qualifications in teaching or youth and community work of some sort. In addition, all our staff have to be well qualified in outdoor activities. Moreover, we look for people with humour, patience, tolerance and preparedness to work in a participative way with young people.
All activities are no more than 4 participants to 1 instructor. Around the centre, the ratio is 1 to 6.
But it was getting quite aggressive about it in a way. Not aggressive, but...
We have 2 major meetings a day. The first morning meeting, where the duty instructors have been on the night before, will discuss what's happened during the evening. We keep a running logbook which has to be filled in throughout the day as any issues arise. We will often discuss these situations, and we'll encourage each other to think through the various outcomes of the various possibilities and the possible plan of action.
The feedback that I've got said, they're not these awful people, ordering us about. They were humans and they were all right. They were okay. Because some of my clients think, people in certain positions, they're better than me, but they mucked in altogether.
I was made to feel a human being, really, instead of just somebody off the street that's just been picked up and put on a course. It was respect at the end of the day. So I knew where I stood and I knew what I had to gain.
Obviously you're going to go over last day?
We've had a little practice, and they're going to set themselves a time to see what the average time for each person getting over the wall is. The last group did it in a fairly quick time, but they get a wee complication here because we've got a number of fairly large people and a number of fairly small folk, so we'll see how they actually do it.
Come on.
Our staff, in general terms, use a development training approach that's based on participation and equality. And the process is that we first of all plan it, do it, and then review it.
The time for the last person to hit the ground there was 34 seconds.
A classic example of a short review will be after a problem-solving exercise, and then the group would discuss how they would have done it differently.
Last 2 over. What are you going to do about that?
People are coming up where I'm at the top. People are they're not seeing with my hand up, you're just diving up.
My objective is that they actually realise that they can change what they're doing. They can change it immediately. For example, if they're trying to get over the wall, they can look at the technique that they're using. They can immediately look at the technique that they're using. They can modify it. They can modify very, very minor things, and they can see an improvement in that. And if they relate that back to what they do at home, they can recognise the fact that subtle changes in the way that they approach things and the way that they look at things can make a big difference in what the result actually is. Okay, if you're ready, 1, 2, 3, go.
Plan it, do it, and review it. And this cycle goes right the way through the course. The outdoor activities, if you like, provide a vehicle for developing individuals within the group. And so we may be going walking, but part of that walking will be planning the walk, talking about what we need to take with us, ensuring that everybody has the right equipment, and while we're walking we'll look at things, talk about things.
Walk back round, and then we're going to come down here and pick up that path.
And then when we've completed it, we'll review it, talk about what we liked about it, what we'd change, and so on.
The first exped we all packed your food for you. This time it's up to you. You have only got £16 each. Check you don't go over.
As the course progresses, we expect the young people to take more and more responsibility.
This is our last trip. They basically just sat in the back seat and gave pointers.
Oh, do you like pea and ham soup?
They've left us to choose our own food. We've got a certain amount of money to pay for the food.
What we've been doing before every expedition is sitting in a group, our own group in a quiet room, and discussing the things that are needed to make the expedition work.
We use behavioural contracts, if you like, which is more of a kind of discussion about what we think is appropriate as a way of identifying what the main codes of behaviour we will adopt on a particular activity.
The way we've done it is that we've got a sheet of paper up on the board and we've all put down the things that we think are important, like listening to others, not raising voices, honesty, trust, patience, tolerance, things like that. Each person puts their name beside each thing that they're actually going to try and work on whilst being on the expedition.
Any ideas, suggestions? I reckon if we put it in that netting and put it between the 8 of us, there's 4, isn't there?
Now up here we're not really concerned so much with team building as we are with ensuring that people understand how they function within a group. That's much more important. We are here to make sure that the individuals involved understand exactly what it is that they do to function well within a group.
Minister's got to go there, Darren, so
Well, that's man.
where did...
You move the one that I put by Amanda's
That's what he's doing then, don't lose your temper.
Don't keep telling her, God do this, God do that then.
Well, it was already agreed, wasn't it? You were going to carry water. If you want water, it's got to go right there.
We encourage the successes within the group and we discuss any lapses or any failures they may feel that they've had so that they can modify the behaviour.
I reckon that every single one of them will have been broken at one point or another in this trip. And then, at other times, you've been very, very good with them.
When we get back from expedition, we look at that contract and see how we use that, and if it worked, basically, if we all thought about it. And I think it really did help. I mean, I tried to think of the things that I wrote on there at times.
And I've learnt strategies of like just saying, stopping, listening to what they're saying, and then repeat back to them in your own words just to make sure you've understood what they've said. And then say, well, this is the way I see it, you know what I mean? And then getting your point of view across, or going away for 5 minutes saying, look, right, just give me 5 minutes to think about it. Taking a break for 5 minutes, going away, considering it, looking at different options of working around it without raising your fists, then going back to it.
We use a variety of group activities to help develop the individual. Not just activities like canoeing and climbing, but also activities which are indoors. I mean, people help with cooking, for example. And within that comes forming positive relationships, cooperating, sharing, helping, and being aware of others. So for the individual, their development takes the form of working on a variety of activities within the group, and also opportunities to, if you like, be alone within the group. They have structured time with staff in the form of one-to-one sessions on the plans of care system.
The idea of the plan of care is that it's confidential to that young person, and we use it to have one-to-one discussions with the young person throughout the course. Have you read all of it, even the most recent things that have been written in? The plan of care itself is used, there's quite a practical purpose to it, because we feel it's really important that they've got some idea that the course is about personal development rather than outdoor pursuits. And that involves relationships, general attitude, initial impressions, social skills, self-care. It means that we can pay particular attention to those different areas, and then use the notes that are made by all the members of staff to finally bring them all together at the end and have a fairly objective report. What sort of strategies or ways do you think you'll use to cope? when you get days like that at home? Because here, obviously, you've got staff buzzing around saying,
Well, I get
"How
them
you
at
feeling?"
home anyway. I've been getting it. It's only when I've been here I've been learning to slow down and think about it. It's normally when I'm at home I get them. I've gone down February for what am I going to do?
Right.
Towards the end of the course, the young person is enthusiastic. They want to develop some new ideas. Maybe they want to take on some more training.
We've got other ideas of other courses or other agencies that they could go to give them something maybe practical to go home and think about. But be sure that it's tying into what they really need, linking that in with the referral agents, making sure it's in line with the long-term development plan.
We encourage all the young people to telephone the referral agent, to speak to their probation officer, bring the probation officer up to date about how they feel and with what their intentions are for the future.
You'll be seeing me on Wednesday, yeah, about 2 o'clock.
As soon as the young person has returned to the home communities, we dispatch a comprehensive report to referral agents.
And for me, that was something I was able to work on when he got back, because in terms of offending, they don't think of victims. They don't think of other people, and that's what allows them to offend a lot of the time. So I was actually able to use that because he'd started to think about other people, to carry that on in to how he'd actually committed his offence and not thought of the victims in that.
I've seen a total change in the fact that they're a lot more confident, they're more prepared to take on more challenges, go looking for work, whereas before they'd think, well, who wants me? And it's filled them, give them a purpose, if you like.
Before I went to the Venture Trust, I was in and out of trouble with the police. I was always in trouble with the police, not in and out. I wasn't on my feet. I was into drugs. I come back off the Venture Trust. The criminal activity stopped. I got on my 2 feet. And I look after myself now, whereas before I neglected myself. That makes that difference because you feel better for yourself at the end of the day.
Many of the young people we deal with have got narrow lives bounded by narrow, depressing, fifth-rate environments and can't see a way out. Whatever else you do when you go to Applecross, you can see a way out.
Whether you're dangling off a mountain or whether you're walking down the street to the job centre, just think I can actually do it and just have the confidence in yourself to get up and do it, rather than just sit about thinking, well, I'd like to do it, but I can't do it. Just to get up and just move and just do it. That's what it did for me.